Hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today we are back with a new journal review. And today we are going to review an important IEEE journal, which is in particular a magazine. So let's start. So you must have known by now that it's a IEEE Signal Processing magazine. The name is visible on the home screen, and it's an IEEE journal. So magazine is a specific type of journal, and in IEEE, the journals and magazines are quoted in a single category. Okay, so here you can see that you can browse the journal and magazines both under the journal and magazine category. So in total means if we say then magazine belongs to the journal category. Now coming down to the some of the matrices. So here you can see that impact factor of IEEE magazines are as usual very high and above than 10 you can find it, and it's a very good impact factor. But other than impact factor, you need to consider the other things like Q metrics and the SCI indexing and sort of other things. So always, I repeat always this thing, and it is very important to know. That's why I repeat always that first you need to check the indexing of the journal or the magazine. So we will going to check that whether the particular magazine or the journal is SCI or not. Second thing, you need to check the Q ranking, means that the journal is Q1 or Q2 rank. Q3 or Q4 are not worth to go for, but still you can go if you don't have any other option. And the lastly, you should focus on the impact factor. Just other of the things means so many other things like the eigen factor, article influence score, site score, etc. are other things, but you don't need to worry about all these things. You just need to focus on the single thing, that is impact factor, means out of these things. But additionally, the SCI ranking and the Q1, Q2 ranking that comes before the concept of impact factor. So coming down, here you can see that there are some of the menus like popular articles, then the current issues, all issues about the journal. So let's start with the about journal. So here you will get some of the basic information related to this article. So coming to first the aim and scope. So here you can see that this journal publishes the tutorial style articles on signal processing research and applications. So it is usual, means very common that magazines are supposed to offer kind of tutorial related articles, and in this way they offer basic or the very minimal kind of survey based on a specific topic or the domain of research. So in this way, if you are going to discuss about any specific or a very new field of research, or you are going to highlight a very specific research direction of a particular field, then I think you should go for magazine publication. So here the coverage is listed down, and it ranges from the fundamental principles to practical implementation, reflecting the multidimensional facets of interest and concerns of the community, and obviously the up-to-date emerging and the active technical developments, issues, and the events. So that is quite common. And in this way, any of the related topic that is related to the domain of signal processing are welcome in this particular magazine. Coming down to the publication details, so here you can find some of the things like the publication fee, peer review. Publication fee means here they have not given the extra page charges, but here they have given that the subscription and the article processing charges are applicable. So in this way, you can know that it is not open access by default, and obviously here the article processing charges and the subscription fees are applicable. Additionally, the this particular journal is supposed to go under the review by two independent reviewers, and they have given the peer review process also, so it might be the single blind or the double blind review process. So let's check. So here, first I think they have given that what is peer review and why it is important. So I think most of you must have known before, or means already you must have been familiar with this concept. But if you don't know, then it is peer review is a kind of critical assessment of manuscript submitted to the journal or the magazine or any sort of publishing house for any type of article, and where the experts means some of the chosen experts are supposed to take into the part of review process and to evaluate that particular manuscript. So they have showing that 91% of the authors think that the peer review has improved the quality of their article. So that's why this process and the concept of peer review becomes more important. That's why in most of the academic environments, they ask that your work should have been published in some peer reviewed article or conference. So in this way, they accept your research work. But peer review, there are so many peer review journals and publishing venues, but you need to go for the standard peer reviews, means where the very good indexings are available and the journal or the magazines are listed in very good databases. So that's why we are focusing on SCI journals or the magazines. Additionally, how does it work? So here the process is shown that the journal editor invites reviewers who are experts in their particular field. Then the reviewers comment on the variety of points, means whether the study is good, the work you have done is of sufficient quality or not. And then the reviewers' feedbacks are informed to the authors based on the editor's decision. So finally, it's the editor-in-chief's or the associate editor's decision to accept or to reject your work. So in this way, you can always know, and during the this whole process, they focus on some things, whether your work is under scope or not, whether your work is having some sort of novelty or not, whether your work has been validated through some sufficient results or not, have you provided the related data or not, your work is written with clarity or not, your work is complying according to the ethical as well as the practical standards of the journal or the magazine or not, and lastly, but most importantly, whether your work or the research is contributing something useful towards the advancement of the focus of the journal or magazine. Okay, so in this way, if you focus on these 6-7 points, then I think definitely your work can get accepted in any of the journal or magazine. So in focus, you need to take all these points and then you should start your work. Okay. Additionally, there are these two very important terms, single blind review and double blind review. So in a journal, if the reviewers know the identity of authors, but authors don't, then it is single blind. Okay. But if the authors and reviewers both don't know each other's identity, then it is called double blind. Okay. So I think it is basic and we should go back, and here you come that they have given the errors in published articles, etc. These are not much related to you, but means if you want to know if you are very new author, then you should go for all these sort of details, and means after publishing to the IEEE explore, no changes are applicable, etc., etc. Sort of basic guidelines are given here. If you are interested, you can go and study in detail. Then there are some other policies like the publishing ethics, obviously means you should not have plagiarism and sort of things. Additionally, if you have some using some content which is copyrighted, then you need to take the additional permissions, etc. Then post publication related information, then the advertising, etc. Lastly, coming to that, here the editor-in-chief's detail is given, which is Christian Newton, and he is from means University of Grenoble, Alps, France, and the profile is also given here, and some of the senior manager details and some of the other announcements are also provided here. So I think these things are not important from an author's point of view much. Means if you are stuck at somewhere in during the process of publishing or something like that, or you have some sort of question related to the journals, or your manuscript are exceeding the length than the stated length of the journal, and you want to publish in that only, then you need to communicate to the editor or need to take care of these sort of details. But if you are a general author, so working means publishing within the limits of the journal and going through the standard guidelines, you don't need to bother about the editor details or the editor boards and etc., etc. You need to bother about the frequency. Why? Because frequency is very important to decide whether your work is going to publish soon or not. If a journal or the magazine is bi-monthly in production, okay, so here you can see frequency is 6. So in a year, 6 times they are going to publish this magazine, so it's bi-monthly, and in this way it is not going to take much time to come to the publication stage. So in this way, if you are keen to publish your work soon, or you don't have much time because of some degree time limits or something like that, then you are supposed to go for bi-monthly or monthly type of journals or magazines. Okay, then the subjects. So here some of the common subjects are given that where the focus is. So communication network and the broadcast technologies, computing and processing, and signal processing and analysis is the focus of this particular magazine. Now some of the previous titles that they have given here, that earlier means 1984 to 1990, these are sort of different previously published titles. Now coming back to the main details. So from here only, okay, we'll start, or we should go to home, then you'll understand better. Okay, so if you don't know that what is this impact factor, eigenvalue, article process, influence score, or the site score, then I have already discussed much in my other videos. You can go and have a check. Additionally, you can click on these links also and you will get the related information. So here you can see that the articles in this particular journals are peer reviewed in accordance with the IEEE PSPB operation manual. It is the standard manual based on which the usual guidelines are followed for the publication of the articles in this particular journal. And each article is reviewed by a minimum of 2 independent reviewers, and it follows a single blind review process. Means the reviewers know the identity of authors, but authors don't. Okay, now coming down here, that the author's resources, it is always a common question whether the single blind review is better or the double blind review. So obviously double blind review is way better and its reputation is more. Okay, so if you are a very well-known author or a sort of well-known academician, people do recognize you in your field, then people do prefer single blind review because their name and all these things have a kind of influence. Okay, but if you are a new author, then you usually go for double blind review. Means if you have a choice, then. And I'm not making a statement, it's a kind of standard thinking in the research community, and it's again a debated issue. Means I'm not saying that all the well-known authors are going for single review only to take advantage of their name or sort of, but there are so many known things of research community and which are always in rumors that what are the sort of practices those are going on in the research community to have better publications and citations. So that's a debated domain. We'll discuss something all these things later. Then the author's resources are provided here. Here you can see the submission guidelines, submit manuscript, author center. Becoming a reviewer means you can submit your request to become a reviewer. Then additional information, open access options, etc. provided here. So if you want to see all these things, then you can click on these things one by one. So all these things are generally means submission related guidelines. If we click here, I will cover in short because there are so many things. If we cover all the things, the video will become very lengthy. So here you can see that the IEEE publication recommender tool is there. You need to copy paste your title as well as the abstract and the suitable journals which are suiting your need or falling into your research domain will come out. Okay, in this way you can search. Additionally, you need to check for the reference list for the related journal, conduct a keyword search, etc. And then you need to ask for suggestions for the colleagues and co-authors in your field, then read the aim and scope, means all the kind of general guidelines they have given over here. Okay, now moving back, submitting manuscript. If you want to submit manuscript, then you are supposed to click this particular link and then you will come on to this particular page. And here at the Scholar One page, here you can log in, means make an account and submit your manuscript. Then you have the author center. Here you have all sort of details related to the authors. So if you click here, then it will give you a basic session, means a wizard kind of thing is given over here, that it will show you that how to write it. So writing, then the peer review process, then the publication, whole detail, and then informations are provided to the authors. Okay, and then some of the related authors tools, video tutorials, and the ethical guidelines are also provided. Then coming down to the becoming a reviewer, if you want to become a reviewer, then by clicking this particular link, you can submit your request. And here about a peer review process, means what is the peer review, what is your role, etc., what you are supposed to do, etc. All these things, means your role in the article production, etc. All these informations are provided. So I hope all these things you know very well. That's why I am not going in detail. And if you are a very new author, means very fresh researcher, then it is my sincere recommendation that you go and read once, means only once. Once you read all these things, and then later you don't need to go into the details because most of the things are common for all of the journals and magazines. Okay, then here you can see that information for authors are provided. The ORCID IDs, what is the role and what is the concept of ORCID ID, what is the special issue, what is the feature article, what is a column paper, what is a forum paper, the paper specifications. Okay, all these things are provided down here. So additionally, the community involvement, conferences, etc., the development related informations are also provided. Okay, so all this information is provided under additional information, means not much required for publication, but important to know. Then the open access publishing option, that is very important because you are always supposed to learn that whether your journal is open access option or not. So here you are supposed to know that there are three kind of these options: fully open access journal, which are supposed to be called the gold open access, then the hybrid, and here is the IEEE access, which is in itself is a journal. Okay, so here means IEEE open is the platform where you are supposed to have the IEEE open access options. So you can go and explore, and then you can decide whether you want to go for open access or not. Usually the open access takes some sort of fee. So if you have funding available at your side, then only go for that particular option. Now coming to the question written here, we have already discussed with the editor-in-chief. The full editorial team details is not provided here. And if you are interested, then you can find somewhere it is there. Okay. But right now it is not being shown at the homepage. In elsewhere, that's why I like elsewhere. Presentation is very good. Means at the homepage itself, you will find all the related details, even the top authorship, top readership, from which countries it is coming from, then the open access and the subscription bid article comparison, then what is the editorial board length, how many editorial board members are coming from which particular countries, etc. All the details are available at a single page. So in this way, the Elsewhere's presentation is way better than IEEE. But IEEE transactions or the journals are way better in terms of processing speed. Means the publishing is fast in IEEE in general. I'm not talking about every case. So one or two cases might be here or there. Okay, but obviously most of the IEEE journals follow a faster publishing in comparison to Elsevier. Now coming to the popular issues, so popular articles. So here are some of the popular articles. The RSS feed option is also provided here, and it is a magazine, means a journal sponsored by the IEEE Signal Processing Society. So here you can see that these are some of the popular articles. Then coming to populars are supposed to provided, means if author want to know that which are the most popular articles in my domain, then you can choose this particular option. You can come down, then you can learn. So here you can see that federated learning, concept of deep reinforcement learning, deep learning, GAN, means most of the MLDL related terms are provided here. Okay, and in signal processing means processing signals manually is obviously a headache, and even for a computer it's a headache. So if you have very large data set, nowadays due to big data we have so much audio video data, so that's why most of the signal processing is being done using the ML or the DL sort of concepts. So in this way, most of the things are related to in this way. You can see here, okay, deep neural network. Now the IoT security. So based on the network specific or the technology specific things, the papers you can find. Now, current issue is important. Why? Because it is always important to know that what are the key domains or the key keywords before delving into a particular research field, or before starting a particular paper to get published in a good journal. Means for a very good journal or the magazine, if you are targeting, then you should be very focused while writing. Because if your work is not into the aim or scope, or it is not providing the sufficient length or the details, then obviously it is not going to get published, because the competition is very high for these very good type of journals or magazines. So in this way, IEEE journals, top journals and the magazines are very competitive. So always you need to take care of that what kind of works or the topics are under focus right now. So in this way, your current issue, means recently accepted articles will help you. So here you can see that unsupervised deep learning, and role recovery, light field microscopy, optical imaging. Okay, so in this way you can see that deep learning related things are majorly in focus. So if you want to get into publishing this, so deep learning is the current focus of Signal Processing magazine, so you can go for that. Okay. Now coming to the all issues will give you the information that since when this particular magazine or journal is under operation. So here you can see that from 1991 it is operation till date, and in this way it's a powerful journal because it has a long history. It is not just 5 or 10 years old journal. Okay. Then coming to the about journal, so we have already seen. So I think most of the details that we have seen here. Additionally, if you want to submit article here and add that down here, so two options are provided at the homepage only. Then adding some title into your alert list, or if you want to add into your favorite list, then you have the RSS feed, etc. links. Okay. If you want to search articles within this particular journal only, then you can click this checkbox and then you can write something. Okay. So like I type deep learning. So all the deep learning papers published in IEEE Signal Processing magazine will get listed down here. And in this way, you can also search some of your related papers. So you can see that all these papers are from IEEE Signal Processing magazine, IEEE Signal Processing magazine. Okay. So in this way, you can have a search. Now let's jump on to the other thing. We have already seen that the journal has very good impact factor, but that should be the last priority. So we are moving on to our first priority, that whether the journal is SCI or not. So let's copy paste it first, means the name of the journal, and then we are going to see its name in SCI list. So SCI list is provided at the master journal list of Clarivate, and at Clarivate site here you can see we are going to paste our journal name and then we are going to search. So here you can see that SCI Signal Processing Magazine is listed in the database of Science Citation Index Expanded. Means it's an SCIE journal, which is almost similar to SCI. Okay. So first thing got confirmed that this particular journal is SCI. Second thing, that your journal is having very good impact factor, but now need to search about the second main thing, which is Q ranking. So at the SCI Mago site, here you can search for your specific journal. So we have searched for Signal Processing Magazine, and you can see that it is having a very good H index, which is 188. H index above than 100 is very good. Okay, and it is more means almost very close to 200. So you can imagine how good this particular journal or magazine is. So it is a US magazine, and the subject area is offering the 4 different tracks: art and humanities, computer science, engineering, and mathematics. In mathematics, the applied mathematics is the focus. In engineering, electrical and electronics, computer science, signal processing, and art and humanities offers the music in focus. And this is a journal. SSN number is provided here. Coverage is from 1991 to 2020, and the homepage related links are provided here. We have already seen the aim and scope, so we are not going to waste our time here. Then we are coming to the quartiles. So these 4 different quartiles, you can see that 1999 onwards, and before that data is not provided due to space limitation, I think. Okay. So here you can see that so much means it's all Q1, and that's why it is one of those IEEE elite journals which are making quite wonderful work since their start. Okay, so in this way you can see how tough the competition is going to be to get published in this particular magazine or journal. Okay, so that's why I was continuously focusing and still continuously focusing that you need to write your journal very specifically according to the aim and scope and the detail wise. Very good. Okay, to get published in this particular journal. Now, if due to tough competition, if you didn't get published, then what are your alternative options? So here, some of the similar journals are provided: the EuroSIG Journal on Advances in Signal Processing, IEEE Signal Processing Letter, Digital Signal Processing, a Review Journal, and the IEEE Transaction on Signal and Information Processing. Additionally, some of the options are also provided here, which are more but less related. So you can decide according to your requirement. Then the SGR graph is shown over here. In 2020, almost every journal's graph went down, so no surprise here. Then the total number of documents are bit moderate, means not very good, because and it might be again due to the tough acceptance rate, means very low acceptance rate, tough acceptance criteria. Then here you can see that in last 2 years, the citations on these documents went down, which is a bit concern, because usually due to the more electronic activity in COVID era, most of the journals citations went on high, but again, self citations and sort of things play different sorts of game. Okay, so this is not the only criteria. Then this is very great thing. It is very rare that you can see that self citations are so low, and that's why I was talking the same thing here. That here you can see that the number of citations in the last 2 years is low in comparison to last 3 or 4 years, because might be that the journal policies got changed, or they have been quite strict while accepting the things, or the things means it is not always the things that this journal's documents are citing itself, but the other journals should cite. But still you can see that the self citation rate is very low in comparison to the total number of citations. It is very good thing. Okay, but still you can see that these 2 lines are not mapping onto each other. So it should map onto each other, means all the citations on the document so should be external citations, no self citations. But obviously some works are quite genuine and they need a reference to the self works. For example, you are working into a particular domain where very less number of authors are working, or you are a very prominent author in your particular research domain, so you have to cite your work because those are related. Okay, so in this way, many times you can't skip self-citation, but you should keep a practice, or you should try to maintain minimum self-citation, because it impacts your as well as the journal's image. Then coming down here, you can see the international collaborations are bit down in 2020. Then the non-citable documents are quite big because I don't know it is because of the ethical violations or publishing guidelines violation or whatsoever. Okay, but it's a bit concern. Then here the uncited documents means citable, and then if you remain uncited, then again people might say that your work is not good, but it is not like that. It might be again the reason that you are working into a very deep focus of a particular field, and that's why your and the number of authors working in your particular field or at that particular level where you are working are very less. Okay, so that's why your work didn't get cited. And most important thing that if you want to get more citations, write review papers. So many journals accept more review papers just to increase their impact factor. So that is a totally different game, and nowadays everybody understands this game. So don't go into this particular trap that if your work didn't get cited or you don't have more number of citations, then your work quality is not so good. Okay, people are trying so many different or and even unethical techniques just to get more citations. So don't think that citation is the only thing that is going to decide your contribution into your community or that is going to decide your reputation. Okay, don't worry. Then the IEEE Signal Processing Magazine is in total this widget shows is the Q1 ranked journal, and it is shown here. And I think we have covered most of the thing, and the some of the related keywords also we have already discussed. Still, if you have some of the things that we have not covered, then please let me know. I will definitely try to learn that what are the sort of different things. And still some of the things means at my side I have come across some of the major keywords or the domains related to this particular journal, so I'm going to tell you. So digital image processing, Fourier analysis, information theory, the control theory, and machine learning, deep learning, parallel algorithms, artificial neural networks are the kind of focuses of this particular journal. Additionally, the compressed sensing, signal processing, deep learning, speech recognition, then artificial neural network, complex Fourier transform, etc. are the kind of main keywords of this particular journal. More than 160 plus countries authors are publishing their works in this particular journal. So you can imagine that how popular this particular journal is. Additionally, that if your work didn't get published, then you don't know. Means at the same outside we did see that what are the alternative journals. But if you focus your if you track the other authors who are related to your field, then you can get to know that what are the other possible venues. Okay, so the authors who usually publish in IEEE Signal Processing Magazine, they also publish in some of the other journals, and some of them are neuroimage, and the magnetic resonance in medicine, ACM transaction on graphics, signal processing, optics express, the geophysics, microscopy and microanalysis, blood, etc. Okay. Additionally, if you want to change your publishing venue, then you can change it. That also means from IEEE you can jump onto some other, and obviously Elsevier is a common competitor of IEEE. So Elsevier, Wiley, Springer, SPY, Acoustic Society of America, then the Optical Society, IOP Publishing, Oxford University Press, etc. These are some other popular alternative publishing choices. Okay. Additionally, the rate of returning authors means remain usually high in very good journals, because they do know that this particular journal is very good, and it's always better to publish one good journal in comparison to 3-4 normal journals. So that's why whenever you are having a very good journal, so it means its CI impact factor is very good and it's continuously Q1, then rate of returning authors becomes high. So it is true with respect to this particular journal, and that's why you should go for this particular journal. At least one of your papers if in this category of magazines or journal, then I think it's very good. But again, don't lose your focus. Means it is not that you are not belonging to the aim and scope or the research track of this particular journal, still you are trying. No, every field is good and every field has some reputed journals or magazines. So always publish your work with respect to your research and go for your own category or research quartile journals. So that will help you to grow and get better recognition. So that's all, guys. And if you didn't like anything, please let me know. If you did like something, then also please let me know. Whatever criticism you have to offer for me, please put down in the comments form, and I will definitely try to improve myself and will try to put a better analysis in my next video. Thanks for watching this video. Happy learning.